told my son's African-American girlfriend that she can wear a wig even if my son doesn't want her to. My son Milo is 14, his girlfriend Nina is 13. She's black, I'm white, and I always tried to stay out of things I didn't understand, but something had been off with Nina for weeks. She used to walk into my kitchen like she owned it. Big laugh, always talking, always in a colorful head wrap or a wig with soft curls that bounced when she moved. Lately she showed up in a hoodie with the strings pulled tight, no jewelry, no makeup, hair pushed under a plain baseball cap. She barely said hi to me anymore. I told myself it was teenage stuff. Then one Friday in March I was driving Milo and Nina to a birthday party at the roller rink. Milo ran back upstairs for his jacket and left me alone with Nina in the kitchen. She sat at the counter staring at her phone, not moving, still wearing that same cap. "You okay?" I asked her. She shrugged. "I don't feel pretty tonight." I asked why. She pulled the cap off. Her hair was in 2 puffs, natural, nothing done to it. She said she was still getting used to showing it in public. I asked why she was doing it, if it made her uncomfortable. She looked at the floor and said Milo told her she looked cooler this way, more real, and she didn't want to disappoint him. That got under my skin. I told her when I was her age I used to change everything about myself to impress boys, wear things I hated, act like someone I wasn't. I told her she didn't owe Milo anything with her hair. I told her she could put the wig back on even if he didn't want her to. She smiled a little and put her cap back on before he came down the stairs. I thought that was the end of it. 4 days later Milo found out. I don't know how. Maybe Nina told him. Maybe he overheard me telling my sister on the phone. Either way, he came home from school and slammed his backpack on the table so hard the fruit bowl rattled. He said I had no right to tell a black girl how to look. He said I was a white woman butting into something I didn't understand. He called me overbearing. He called me a Karen. I'd never heard that word aimed at me before, and it landed like a slap. I stood there while he stomped upstairs and slammed his door hard enough to knock a picture frame crooked. For a week, things were cold between us. He barely spoke to me at dinner, just picked at his food. I kept replaying the conversation with Nina, wondering if I'd overstepped. Then on a Tuesday night, his phone kept buzzing on the kitchen counter while he was in the shower. I wasn't snooping. It just wouldn't stop. Buzz, buzz, buzz. A name I didn't recognize lit up the screen. Xavier. Then another name. Then another. I glanced down out of habit, and a message preview was sitting right there on the lock screen. It said, "Bro, did she take it off yet? Reggie's saying 6 out of 10 without the wig. You owe him 20 bucks." My stomach dropped. I picked the phone up. More notifications stacked up, all from a group chat named Rate Nina's Real Face. Photos he'd taken of her without her wig, sent to a pack of boys scoring her out of 10 like a menu item. That's when it clicked. He never wanted Nina to feel confident showing her natural hair. He wanted proof for a bet. His friends had been arguing over whether she was pretty underneath the wig, and Milo had been settling it for them with pictures she never agreed to have taken. I didn't wait for him to get out of the shower. I sat on his bed with the phone in my hand until he walked out in a towel, dripping on the carpet, and I turned the screen around. He went pale. He tried to grab the phone back and I held it out of reach. I asked if this was what looking cooler natural actually meant. He didn't answer. He just kept saying it wasn't what it looked like, over and over, like the words would change what was on the screen. I called Nina's mother that night. I read her the messages word for word on speakerphone, while Milo sat on the stairs behind me. Nina's mother went quiet for a long time, then asked me to send screenshots so she'd have proof for the school. Nina showed up at our door the next afternoon, back in her old head wrap, curls pinned up high, gold hoops back in her ears. She didn't come inside. She stood on the porch mat and asked Milo to come out and talk to her. He did, still in his socks, no shoes on the cold concrete. She held her phone up with the screenshots on the screen and asked him to explain the $20. He opened his mouth and nothing came out, not one word. "You made me feel bad about my own hair so your friends could grade me," she said. "I'm done." She turned and walked down our driveway to her mother's car, idling at the curb, and she never once looked back at him. Milo stood on the porch in his socks watching the taillights disappear down the block, and I stood behind him in the doorway saying nothing at all, letting him feel exactly what he'd earned.